It's totally true that 90% of new guitar players quit within the first year. So let's talk about the 7 glaringly obvious mistakes that cause beginners to fail. Mistake number 1 is prioritizing work over fun. Don't get me wrong, learning the guitar absolutely requires hard work, but I believe discipline is born from a love of the process. And if your teacher tells you to fill up your limited practice time with boring exercise after boring exercise, well, you're not gonna love the process. What I've learned is that fun is the thing that'll keep you coming back and picking up your guitar day in and day out. Now, what's fun is going to be different for everyone. But I know when I was learning as a kid, I hated practicing the spider walk and bar chords. So instead, I'd put on my favorite songs, mute the strings, and strum along for hours. It wasn't as efficient as running through scales to a metronome, but it kept the guitar in my hands every day, and honestly, ended up giving me a pretty good sense of rhythm. I like to recommend something called the 90-10 rule, where whenever you sit down to practice, spend 90% of your time on fun stuff, whether that's songs or strumming chords or coming up with your own little melodies, and then just 10% on the work, so things like scale repetitions, dexterity exercises, or music theory. At a minimum, practicing will feel less like a daily task and more like something you can look forward to. Mistake number 2 is something I call the slouch, where you let the bottom of your guitar slide forward so it's easier to see what you're doing. This is one of the worst habits you can create. It's bad for your posture, it'll create shoulder, neck, and back pain, and it's really bad for your technique because every part of your body will have to compensate for the poor positioning. The body of the guitar should be sitting at nearly a 90-degree angle, straight up and down and flush with your body. You can look over and lean it a degree or two when absolutely necessary, but your goal should be to eliminate as much of that as possible. Continuing to let your guitar slouch is like driving with the handbrake on. You're not going to get very far very fast. Mistake number 3, you've got your thumb glued to the back of the neck. So many guitar players are taught to place their thumb right in the middle of the back of the neck of the guitar and then keep it there. This is bad advice and will definitely hold you back. You should adjust your thumb depending on what you're doing. For example, when I play a series of notes on the low strings, having my thumb in the middle of the neck feels pretty optimal here. But when I play a C major chord down here, well, having my thumb on the back of the neck creates a lot of unnecessary tension and causes my hand to fatigue quickly. So instead, I move my thumb up like this, and I squeeze into the fleshy part of my hand instead. All of a sudden, way less tension. If you watch me play a few different things, you can see just how much I change my thumb position based on what feels best. And if you closely watch some of your favorite players, you'll notice they pretty much all do the same thing. Mistake number 4, you've fallen into the tab trap. Now, tabs are amazing, but they're almost too much of a cheat code. They make learning songs so easy and mindless that you don't even have to pay attention to what's going on musically. And if you spend all your time looking up the tabs of songs and just going through the motions, you'll end up stuck without developing any musicality or creativity whatsoever, which are the things that lead to the best and most rewarding parts of playing guitar. Don't abandon tabs altogether, but just make sure it's not eating up all your time. There are other really fun things you can do, like learning to improvise over a song or even learning a song by ear. I have countless lessons on both of these things, so if you're not sure how to get started, I'll have beginner lessons linked down in the description under referenced videos. Mistake number 5, you avoid using your pinky. Not all of us are lucky enough to have all our digits, but if you are, you need to use that pinky finger. Why am I progressing so slowly? It's because you're only using 75% of your potential. I know it's smaller and weaker than the other ones, but the longer you go without using it, the harder it'll be to start using it in the future. So don't leave it out. Include it in your chords, in your scales, in your exercises, and everything else you can. Even if it's super weak now, the strength will come if you're consistent. If you're struggling to put your pinky to work, I'd suggest working on any dexterity building exercise. It can even be something as simple as a basic chromatic scale like this. Mistake number 6, you're just learning too many darn things at once. We're all guilty of this. We see a pretty YouTube thumbnail telling us we absolutely need this new chord or exercise, so we try and cram it into an ever-growing list of tips, tricks, hacks, and routines we're supposed to do every day. And all it does is distract us, overwhelm us, and stop us from making any progress at all. It's a recipe for failure. That's why I think it's so important to slow down and keep the list of things you're working on small and focused. It's much more effective and rewarding to master the fundamentals than it is to be spread too thin, thinking you need every chord, every scale, every mode, and 1,000 songs to be a good player. I would really recommend choosing just one system of learning to follow, whichever one feels like it fits your way of learning the best. Stick to that and you'll find yourself getting much better short and long-term results, especially in that beginner to intermediate stage. Today's video is brought to you by me and this YouTube channel. So if you like the video, please go ahead and hit the like button. And if you're not already, it would mean a lot to me if you'd subscribe to the channel as well. You can also show your support for what I do here by checking out my Patreon or my full-length guitar courses, which will all be linked down in the description. Mistake number 7 is a tight grip. So many technique and pain issues can be solved by simply loosening the grip on your pick. Beginners tend to gravitate towards thinner picks because they allow you to hang on for dear life and still glide over the strings. This is because the pick just bends when it meets any resistance. But this is just reinforcing a terrible habit. You should only hold on to the pick tightly enough that it doesn't go flying out of your hands. I have a 2.5mm pick here and I have no issue controlling my dynamics because I'm keeping my grip loose. If you look closely at my pick and what I'm doing, I'm allowing the resistance of the string to just push the pick in whatever direction it needs to go so that it travels smoothly over the strings. When you do relax your grip, you'll find that all that tension leaves the rest of your body as well. You'll feel much more relaxed and you'll be much less likely to develop shoulder and neck pain because of it. So I want to know if you are guilty of any of these beginner mistakes. Leave a comment and let me know. From here, I'd recommend you check out this lesson on the bedroom guitarist curse and how to break it. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.